Hey everyone, thanks for watching, and I'm really excited about today's interview because I feel like I'm going to be talking with one of my heroes. And we have Jim Ingersoll with me. How you doing this morning, Jim?
I am doing great, trying to stay warm from that snow behind me, but it does look like a holiday picture, doesn't it?
It does. As a guy from California who only has 2 seasons, wet and dry, I can admire the view and also be thankful I'm not freezing. So I'm good.
I'm definitely a little chilly here today, but it's all right.
Very cool, Jim. Well, just like all my interviews, I always sort of dive in and try to uncover what people are doing today in your business. And your story is great, which we'll get to. But let's talk about what you're doing today, Jim. So what's keeping you busy?
Well, right now we're just a few weeks out from our boot camp. It's coming up January 22nd to the 23rd and 24th. So it's hard to believe 2019 is just a few weeks away, but it is. So we are working on getting everyone registered. It will sell out. And if anybody's interested, just go to investortrainingsummit.com, check it out, because it's a great chance. I'd love to meet some more folks. And besides that, we are just working on a lot of houses. We're in heavy duty rehab mode at the moment, flips and rentals and all that good stuff, closing on another strong year.
Great. So we got a couple of paths to go. Let's close on the boot camp first because
Okay.
I think giving back is important. I think sharing, networking, all of those are important. And, I bring you specifically to this channel as the first person to sort of talk about boot camps because you have to be selective, right? When you bring people. So why don't you sort of highlight kind of, in broad brushes, what you're going to unpack over 3 days. Also sort of share where is it? I don't,
Okay.
those kinds of things.
Yeah, it's going to be right here in Richmond, Virginia, right about 3 or 4 miles from where I'm sitting right now. Hopefully it'll be nice out. And in January 22nd, 23rd, and 24th, all the info is at investortrainingsummit.com. We're going to focus really on 3 things, maybe 4. And so we're going to do a lot on notes and creating passive investments by investing in notes. We're also going to really focus on your favorite topic, which is being a landlord.
Yeah.
And creating freedom from rental property. It's my favorite topic as well, Michael. So we're gonna focus a lot there as well.
Yeah.
And then I've got Max Maxwell coming from North Carolina, and he loves talking about wholesaling. So we'll talk about finding deals and wholesaling some. So it should be a really great time.
Yeah, I think, really what you've just offered up there to sort of unpack it is you're going to give really you're going to give anybody coming something, right? Because what I see in all our investors is you're going to be hungry for one of those topics. If you want to come learn sort of the front end and assignment fees and controlling property and making some of that fast chunk money, there is nobody better on the planet today than Max Maxwell, right? His ability to do, I think it's north of $2 million in assignment fees in under 2 years in his backyard, plus what his YouTube presence is out of this world. We'll skip over our topic just for a second. You go to notes. The other thing I see in a lot of investors I talk with that are maybe like us older, they're like, you know what? I'm done. I'm out. I don't want to be a landlord anymore. I don't want that tenants and toilets and termites and all of that stuff. I'm going to be, either a private money investor or I'm going to, buy discounted notes or all of that, right? There's ways to play in real estate that aren't physical assets. And that'll be one of your first topics in notes. And then of course, we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about our topic of landlording and the real path to long-term wealth and legacy and, all those terms that get thrown around. But it's the only reason I'm up at, 5 every morning is because I want to be and because I like giving back, but it's because of my rental portfolio that gives me that flexibility. So
I agree. I agree 100%. I've done several hundred transactions as well. But if I look back over the last 10, 15 years, what really has created freedom is the buy and hold.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just talking to Tom Olson about this yesterday. And so it's got me thinking, like, people think about investing. Wholesalers think in terms of weeks. Flippers think in terms of months. Landlords typically think in terms of years. But Tom and I really stretched that out and said, if you're really going to work on your legacy, it may become decades, not years. And so everyone's got like different perspectives. But, I still remember talking to you like 6 or 8 weeks ago, and you said, well, houses double every 20 years. You remember that conversation?
I do. Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
if you think longer term, then you don't get as excited about the market cycles and fear and worry, and
Yeah.
just create cash flow that works today.
Yeah.
Just hold on to those assets a long time. They'll be paid off someday, and they'll keep going up in value.
Yeah. Again, right. It's about helping, for me, it's about helping people who are stuck get to 4 rentals, conservatively finance them. So don't use maximum leverage. Then let the tenants pay off the other 60, 70% of it over a couple of decades. And even if you only get 4, your future is so much brighter. Which is, we've got to get people to. So let's unpack the other side of this equation. You're doing lots of flips and buy and holds, and I see these beautiful pictures that you put out. So why don't you talk about some of those, kind of give us a ballpark for your business, and then they appear to be above the median houses, but again, I don't know Virginia, so I mean they're that nice. So let's talk about that.
I mean, I'm doing some little higher end ones right now, but I don't typically, I don't really love going much above median.
Yeah.
So typically our retail flips will be like 200 to 275 or something.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a few right now that are higher, like 350 to 500. But I don't do a lot there.
Yeah.
And it's just, it gets riskier the higher you go because interest rates are jumping and things like this. You got to be careful. But,
your buyer pool goes down, right? That's
and so we are doing a lot of flips. We have been, this will be our 3rd year in a row doing a buy and flipping business. And we started doing that 3 years ago because here's the thing with real estate cycles, it makes it really simple. You buy when others are selling, sell when others are buying, isn't it? Why didn't I know that when I was in my 20s?
Yeah, amen, right?
So simple.
It's so simple.
So we've been selling while others are buying for this will be our 3rd year.
Yeah.
And we're watching the market. We're concerned about it from a flipping perspective, not from a landlording perspective so much.
No, absolutely.
But people are still buying.
Yeah, people are still buying. I think, I do think above the median, certainly 50% above the median is going to get dicey, right? Every interest rate jump plus the price jump, they're more, people buy on mortgage payments. And I don't know why we don't talk about that more.
It's true.
So, when the price goes up and interest rate goes up, it's like 2.5 times the impact on the mortgage payment. So it crushes them. So I am curious, when you say you've been running a flipping business for 3 years, are we talking 50 a year? I just want to get a ballpark. It doesn't have to be, is it 10 a year, 100 a year? I mean, how big is this monster you have, Jim?
Well, for the last 3 years, it's been 40 to 50. Yeah.
So one a week. That's impressive. So
it is a lot. And so right now we're working on 10 houses.
And
a lot of contractors and a lot of materials and a lot of checks to write.
Yes. I can only imagine the draws and all of that and simply the paperwork. So are you a one-man show, or do you have a base of full-time employees, everybody at 1099? Who helps you run this growing empire?
A combination of all of the above. I have a very large contractor pool that we rely on. So I got a lot of crews.
Sure.
We sub all of that contracting side out completely. And we pay labor and we buy the materials. That's how we do it.
Ah, very good. Okay.
So none of my materials get marked up, and all of our contractors are busy as often as they want to be. They don't have to go out and source new work and make quotes and keep their fingers crossed. They've just got work every day.
Yeah.
Which right now in the holidays they love.
Yeah.
And then I've got an assistant, Tracy, who works with me, and then my wife is very, very involved, Cheryl.
Yeah.
And I've got a construction manager as well that's running all of our rehabs now.
Yeah, we shouldn't skip over your wife's involvement, Cheryl's involvement, because I was just talking to a group of folks. What is today? Friday, so would have been Tuesday or Wednesday, and it's amazing still. Well, some people try to run off by themselves, and then they almost try to pull their significant other with them, as opposed to sitting down and having a conversation. Because I believe real estate's going to test you. And if you don't have full, support of your significant other, you're eventually going to get in trouble. So,
I agree.
Has she been on board since day one? Did you have that conversation?
Yeah, you know what, though? Our first, we got married really young. Cheryl was 19, I was 21. So I'm going back in time a little bit. We bought a house when we got married. We moved into that. Mm-hmm. It was really cheap. And then my dad was a part-time landlord and made it look easy. So I bought a duplex, right?
Yeah, of course.
It didn't go well. It didn't go well. We were like 23, 24, and you know, it looked really good on paper because it was like $20,000.
Yeah, yeah.
I
know those.
I was an engineer, so I should have known. But you know, I had no property management skills, and I had no landlording training, and did everything wrong, and didn't have money to do the repairs, and so on. That's a whole other story. But at the end of that, I sold it. Okay, I got out of it. Didn't lose money, by the way.
Oh, nice.
But at the end of that, it was so frustrating that Cheryl said, "That's it. I don't ever want to be a landlord again."
Ah,
it took me 10 years to correct that problem, to get her back in, to buy back in.
Yeah. Well, you know, deep scars, right? That probably hurt as a young 20-year-old.
Just a lot of frustration. So,
yeah.
But, you know, if I had a network, or if I had training, or, you know, back then YouTube didn't exist.
Yeah.
You know, there were no RIA meetings. You know, this is like.
You operated in a vacuum, which was tough.
It was like 1993. You know what I mean? A long time ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
5 years ago or something.
Yeah, there's a little pearl there also. I mean, one of the things, again, these are going in on YouTube. It's just a different social environment we're all in now. But don't do landlording alone, right? Don't do what Jim did in '93, where you sort of, oh, it looks easy, because landlording's not easy. Frankly, you know, it's simple, I guess, but it's never easy. You know, so get involved, ask questions, network, and you will be better off. I promise you, Jim would have been less stressed if he had 10 peers to talk to and sort of ask questions of, right? Would you agree?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. I had no training. I didn't know what a lease was. I didn't know how to screen tenants. Didn't even know a property manager existed. But honestly, it's so bad, Michael. But I would work my job, which was an engineer back then, and I'd meet people in the evening, and, you know, you just need to get somebody in there so bad. Like, do you have a pulse? Do you have a little cash? You're in.
You're in. Check. I got to pay that mortgage payment.
And we had some ugly situations there with tenants. And
yeah. Well, it's all behind us now. So now we can laugh and chuckle at them.
I use it as a teaching point, and it's okay. It's okay to make some mistakes, and just don't wait as long as I did to get back up and get moving again.
Yeah, the lost decade, right?
Over the years.
Yeah. So let's just unpack this final thing before we sort of switch gears. And so we've done the boot camp, we've done the sort of flipping business. Let's talk about the rentals. Are you still adding to your rental portfolio, and have you had that only the last 3 years, or where does that kind of fit?
I've been buying rentals close to 15 years.
Yep.
About the same as you.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm still buying some rentals. Yes.
So how was that how was Virginia? Because 15 years ago, like me, would have been, 2003. So pre-bubble, what was Virginia's bubble like? Right. Because the market I was in was crushed.
West Coast.
Yeah. Yeah. The market I was in got crushed.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I still have some of the houses I bought right before the bubble burst.
Yeah. As do we.
So I was upside down on those for a while, but they always cash flowed. And so what's the cool thing about real estate is it gets pretty forgiving over time. That's why I was talking about time earlier. So, where I used to owe this much and it was worth this much, that kind of the price has gone back up.
Yeah. And
what happened to my loan balances with the banks? They've dropped.
Yeah.
So, it's no longer upside down at this point. Things are okay. Time sort of heals real estate assets over a period of time.
Yeah, you've just put the biggest gold nugget in front of us that we have to talk about, and it's really why I'm so big on conservative financing, right? Because I was in the West Coast, as you mentioned, got crushed, and Fresno, the market I invest in, got crushed. So this is what happened, right? Like you, everything we had cash flow. So yes, if you want to talk about balance sheet or net worth, yes, I was hit hard, but I didn't care. I care about my income statement. My income statement got better because my occupancy went up, my rental rates went up, and my mortgage debt was fixed. So all good news. And then why did it get real bad in 2008 through 10? It's because the people that were betting on appreciation lost. They bought a house for 200 that they thought would be worth 300, and it had negative cash flow of 500. And suddenly when that 200 house is worth 150 or 125 or 100, suddenly writing that $500 check every month doesn't feel very good. So next thing you know, you have strategic default. And when that gets widespread, it's over. It's because people were betting on appreciation. And that's still a battle today because it's a seller's market, or at least it was a seller's market the last 5 years. And in California, people love talking about six-figure appreciation gains. Guys, it's a losing game. Eventually, the market's going to come and take your cash. So, that nugget you put in front of us can't be missed. So I just wanted to highlight it again.
It is, yeah. So you buy for cash flow and everything else is the cherry on top of the ice cream.
Yeah, it just doesn't matter, right? Okay, great. My house is worth less, but rents are better. So,
yeah.
All right. So we sort of unpacked what's keeping Jim busy. So you don't have nothing going on, clearly, right? Just running a boot camp, doing 50 flips, and building a real estate portfolio.
Rehab. Doing 10 at once is a lot. It really.
Yeah, in December, no less. That's right. That just feels like a lot. Yeah, I think I have 4.
I got a little addiction problem, Michael. I'm addicted to deals, man, and I just have trouble saying no sometimes, and so we got a little extra more work than we probably want.
Yeah, Cheryl's gonna have to take your phone away from you and say, "No more, honey. No more electrical signing offers." All right, so let's rewind the clock and if you want to hit on that duplex story one more time, let's do it. If not, let's go back to let's go back and start. What got you back in after that 10-year hiatus? Because I think people need to see. Hopefully they can see themselves in you. And what was that first deal after that duplex?
I ended up taking a job transfer. Like you, I was in technology, so I came to a contract manufacturer in Virginia. Actually, it was part of Lucent Technologies, which I'm So I came to work at Lucent Technologies in Virginia. I had to get rid of that duplex to do that, by the way. So we did that, and then I was able to take a different job. And so I started seeing like the market was a lot different in Virginia than it was where I lived in New York.
Okay.
Actually could cash flow here. We have lower taxes, more landlord friendly, different things. So I can't remember which house I bought first in Virginia. Besides the house I lived in, which is a whole nother story, by the way, because you can appreciate this because you traveled a lot, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
When I took my job here in Virginia, they said, you're going to travel some like 25%. Well, I was gone continually. I know you can appreciate this, but like Cheryl bought our house when I was in Mexico. And then when we moved, I packed our truck in New York, came back to Virginia, and I went to England. I was in England when the moving truck showed up. And then literally 3 weeks later, they sent me to China. So that is not freedom, is it?
No,
you understand. I know you do because we've talked. So those are some of the light bulbs going off like I need something else. And so I started looking at buying franchises. I wanted to buy a business, all these different things. And all the roads sort of led back to real estate. And so Cheryl and I agreed we could buy a couple of houses, and we did. And we did a flip, and I think we did a rental. And then that factory shut down, by the way. Lucent Technologies went out. We had a 750,000 square foot factory with 2,200 employees. And anyways, that's a whole nother story. And so I took a different job in Richmond, and I started running a couple of factories. And when those started to go out, I said, I need off this corporate ladder. This is it. So I started wholesaling.
Okay.
That's how I left.
So when is this time frame? Is like 2000? When is this? Okay, 2003. Got it.
Right in there, somewhere in there. Yeah.
Okay.
Right in there, somewhere in there. 2002, 3, 4.
Gotcha.
And so I started wholesaling, and because I had to replace income, and I had good income. I had to replace it quick, and my girls were in 8th, 9th grade, and I'm thinking I got to pay for their college, and so I did that. I did that with wholesaling and did a lot of volume wholesaling. I did 120 deals in my first year after struggling for a little while.
Yeah.
So, like being a landlord, I sort of struggled there and cost me some time. Wholesaling, everything I tried to do didn't work. So I'd find a deal, not have a buyer, find a buyer, not understand how to do a contract, understand an assignment, all that stuff. But then everything just started to click too. because I kept getting up. See, I learned I can't take this 10-year gap anymore.
Yeah.
So every time I'd fall down or every time something would be screwed up, I'd get up and just keep moving. Every obstacle was an opportunity.
Yeah.
And then just stuff started to click.
Yeah, again, these things you're giving us are just so awesome. I want to unpack them. So again, right, earlier you were talking about just that travel and all of that. Certainly can appreciate that. A couple 100,000 miles a year, hundreds of nights in hotels. You're not with your group family. It's terrible. Not to mention,
yours was more aggressive than mine.
Yeah.
But I was really tired of it after a few years.
Oh, you learn very quickly if it's for you or not.
Yeah.
And I'm actually a horrible flyer, even though I've traveled almost 1,000,000 miles. I hate it. I just hate it. So you really start asking yourself hard questions and how to get off it. Then you have a job loss and a transfer, and you're just the corporate ladder's not for most people, frankly. And like you, everything comes back to real estate. It's something you can get at, you can learn, you can start as a side hustle, right? You can start while you're working and build that expertise. And whether it takes you 15 years like me or a couple years like others, you can do this thing. And that's very impressive. And then again, the people that are successful in this business continually get up. I promise you, all of us get knocked down. All of us get knocked down, and we get knocked down repeatedly. Even after 15 or 16 years, I still get knocked down. And you just got to keep getting up. And don't, the people that run into a wall, sit down and just whine and don't look for help and talk to people, go do something else, because real estate's going to test you. It does all the time to all of us. So I just want to thank you for acknowledging
full time all the way through the most recent down cycle, which was really significant.
Oh, yeah.
And I just recently found one of my journals from like 8 years ago.
Oh, wow.
It had something like, whatever this massive problem we were facing, it was like, I've got to decide what I'm going to do. I'm either going to pound through it, go over top of it, or find a way around it, because I'm not going to give up.
There you
and
go.
You got to have that mindset. And believe me, you will lose money on some deals every now and again, and something will go wrong, or you'll have a new challenge of the day. We had multiple challenges yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, it happens all the time, but the obstacle is the way, as the book says. I don't know if you've read it, but you've got to find a way to go through it and get the faster you recover from a problem, the more successful you'll be.
No question. The faster you recover from the problem, this is the more successful. And if you really look at it with a silver lining, right, deal with the problem. And then if you can learn from it, because that's something I believe in, right? I don't mind making mistakes. I hate repeating mistakes.
Yeah, same here.
Right. So every mistake is meant to teach you something. I only get upset when mistakes are repeated. So that's important for me. So I just love this story. I love where you're at. So I'm curious. Where's Jim going to be in 3 to 5 years? Where are Jim and Cheryl? You out in the Bahamas somewhere, vacationing, or what's going on with you?
Well, you asked great questions, by the way. You really unpacked my story in ways I haven't really told it before. So thank you. I like the idea of giving like you do as well. That's why I do my boot camp. Really, I've seen it change the trajectory of. I've seen real estate change lives without a doubt.
Oh, no question. Yeah.
So why not give as many people that opportunity as we can? That's why you and I do videos, podcasts, interviews, share content. We both give a lot of stuff away for free.
Yep.
So, I want to continue to help people.
Yeah.
I don't need to work. I mean, I want to. I want to have purpose. I want to have purpose. If you don't have purpose, what's life worth living anyway? So
yeah, it's funny. When you earn the badge of financial freedom and others sort of look upon you, a lot of the looks we get and sort of thoughts, it's like, why aren't you sitting on the chair eating bonbons or playing golf every day or whatever? And I promise you, for most of us that do this business, because we have those failures, we get up all the time. That's not us, right? We do this because we thoroughly love what we do and we like the challenge and all of that. And not everybody gets that, right?
I like to grind. I grind pretty hard. And
yeah, clearly.
but I also like to get away. And so I do like to go to the Caribbean. I do
Oh,
like to go to the beach because it like refreshes my mind and gives me brand new thoughts and perspectives. And travel does that too. Like if
yeah,
you're in Europe or Mexico or where, any Canada, anywhere,
anywhere. Yeah.
culture, and it'll allow you to open up your mind to see things differently. So I do encourage travel, and I do think getting away to clear your mind and think about what you want, and have some vision, since we're at the end of the year, is really important, because too many people aim for nothing and they hit it.
Oh, so yeah.
They hit nothing.
Congratulations, you're a success.
Yes.
Yay.
Yes. Enjoy that 401k and your 40 hours a week and your time.
Oh, yeah, that just hurts. Yeah, you can't save your way to a comfortable retirement these days. It's just not going to happen. So we've gotten to the end here, and I always turn it over to our guests to just sort of share. Right? This portion, this is all for you. Talk about the boot camp again. What's going to be there? Words of wisdom, whatever you like. This is for you, Jim. Go for it.
I want to leave people with this. How about this?
Okay.
Because we're at the end of the year, everyone should be starting to think about what their goals need to be coming up and what you want to do. And so instead of focusing on how, focus on what if. I mean, what if 2019 was really the best year of your life? What would it look like? Who are the relationships that you need to solidify? Maybe in your family, maybe your friends, maybe your financial friends network, because your network is everything in real estate. Who are those people that you need to reach out to? And what if 2019 was the best year you ever had? What would it look like? What would make you happy? What are 5 things that would make you happy? What are 5 things you're grateful for as we end 2018? And instead of focusing on how, focus first on what if, and start to put together a plan that can take you to where you want to go. And again, just thanks for everybody who's already registered to join us in January. That's why I love doing these boot camps at the beginning of the year, because it opens up your mind. Just go to investortrainingsummit.com and join us.
Jim, this has been a lot of fun for me. I knew it would be. I love talking to you and sort of just talking real estate. So if anyone doesn't know, I'm actually going to be out there. If it matters to anyone, I'm going to come out to the summit, check it out, be there with Jim and all of you. So I look forward to that. You're going to get the California boy in Virginia in January. So it should be a lot of fun. And with that, I want to thank you and wish you a great day.
All right. It's my pleasure and an honor. Thank you very much.